Compared to ripe apples, there are 10 times more polyphenol in green apples. Condense this by 250 times, and it becomes Applephenon, the excellent green apple extract dietary supplement. With polyphenol amounts that equal to 45 green apples in the form of savory jelly sticks taken twice a day. The healthy and exciting way to start a diet. Lower body fat, slimmer body.
Atomy Applephenon Apple Jelly Stick.
Okay, let me introduce myself. I am Caiden, and I wish you all happy, prosperous in this dragon year. And actually, I'm also one of the dragon, because this year is my third dragon years since I born. So don't doubt. Now you look at my face, I'm only 24 years old. Yeah. So, and it's my honor to be on the stage to talk about the topic of light body fat and slimmer body. So in Malaysia, this is a very challenging and hot topic when we are talking about overweight and obesity. So let's learn some data and common knowledge. So I would like to ask you all, do you know which country is the slimmest in the Southeast Asia? I think some of the Malaysian husbands would like to marry the people from this country. So it's Vietnam. So in Vietnam, 1 out of every 10 people, they're only overweight and obesity. So then, do you know which country is the heaviest country in the Southeast Asia? Please give ourselves a big round of applause. And actually, according to the NHMS, the National Health and Morbidity Survey from World Health Organization in year 2019, and this survey is not the Chin Chai survey, because this survey is conducted for almost 4 years, and they conducted the data from over 10,000 people. And in this survey, it showed that almost 50.1% of Malaysians is overweight or obesity. So what does this mean, 50.1? So you just look on your left, look on your right. So every 2 people, that's 1 people is overweight. So don't laugh. This is not a joke, but this is a fact. So the fact is, we are not overweight in the short term or out of sudden. So overweight is not only affecting adults, but also the kids. So you see the slide here. So the NHMS also show that children, from 5 to 17 years old, every 3 children, that's 1 children is overweight. What caused this? Because the overweight is greatly influenced by our childhood time. Especially, we get the 2 pampering from our parents. Our parents always say, "Wow, 你这么这样瘦了，你吃多点." So even they already look like this size, they still ask you, "Why you don't eat so much? Eat more." 我们的父母是这样子吗？ Okay, another thing is maybe our lifestyle. So how many people of us is like keep looking on your phone, is playing the computer? How many of you doing exercise? Please raise up your hand. Yeah, that's what our Malaysia #1 in Southeast Asia. And another thing, especially in these dragon years, we are too stressed because we want to be the highest sales. When we too stressed, what we do? We always find the sugary food or snack. So all these things, ladies and gentlemen, this is a reason the overweight is not only cause our body bigger, but it also increase the chances of getting the diabetes and also hypertension. But this diabetes and hypertension is not only happen in adults, but nowadays, if we go to the hospital, we also saw a lot of like kids that getting the diabetes. So this is very serious. And another survey from another data and also interesting fact from this survey that show a very interesting data from this survey. They state that almost 95% of adults in Malaysia did not consume enough vegetable and fruits. So by just looking at this slide, if you see at this picture, what is this? Nasi lemak. In nasi lemak, how many vegetables inside the nasi lemak? Yeah, some shop maybe give you just a piece of cucumber. But even that piece of cucumber, most of the people will just throw away. So how many of you is like that? So how many people will just throw away the cucumber? And another thing, when we choose the nasi lemak or we go mamak, we always ask for nasi lebih. And also, kuah panje. And then kuah campur, is it? And every time we mention lebih, we eat more rice, that means we consume more carbohydrates and fats. In the end, our body will getting fatter and fatter. So this is the reason why Malaysia life expectancy is start at 75 years old. Our average age in Malaysia for the past 100 years is start at 75 years old. It's because we have high visceral fat in our body and further induce the risk of diabetes and hypertension. So this is the reason the government also do something. Do you know the government already spend more than 3 billion? Every year, they spend more than 3 billion in treating the diabetes and hypertension. So, and also educating the correct eating campaign to all the Malaysians. Have you all aware this campaign? Have you heard about suku separuh? Yeah, this is the result how the government spent the 3 billion, but none of us know about suku separuh. So in English, it's actually called quarter half. Or you all more familiar with cuti Malaysia. Yeah. Actually, what is suku separuh? Suku means we need, in one plate of rice, we need to have a suku of carbohydrates. The carbohydrates normally come from our rice, our breads, and noodles. And also suku of protein. The protein is normally come from meat, fish, and eggs. And also separuh of the fruits and vegetables. But just now I have mentioned, most of us, 95% of Malaysians didn't take enough fruits and vegetables. So this is a reason why we mention suku separuh. Actually, it's very hard for us to practice. So this is the reason when we talk about the reduced weight, the first thing that comes to our mind is we eat less. But in fact, we shouldn't practice to eat less, but we need to eat the nutrients. Besides the major nutrients, carbohydrate, proteins, and fat, most of the nutrients is actually from the fruits and vegetables. There's one important nutrient is called phytochemical and polyphenol. So after years of the discovery of the polyphenol, the scientists given the different name to the polyphenol that found in the different fruits and vegetables. So and different polyphenol can give a different function. For example, if you look at the next slide, so in France, they like to drink red wines or grapes. So in grapes, there's a polyphenol is called the resveratrol. And this resveratrol that can reduce the risk of heart disease. And in tea, for example, in tea, we have a polyphenol called catechin and gallic acid. For example, in Atomy, we have what kind of tea? Pu'er tea, right? So in pu'er tea, it can help us to reduce the absorption and formation of fat. And same to apple. In apple, we have the Applephenon. So based on the research, it can help us to even break down the body fat inside our body that accumulated for so many years. So there are the 3 reasons when HQ is developed the Atomy Applephenon to become one of our slimming product. So there's 3 reasons. The first reason, the most important is safety and stability. So we proved that after we take the Applephenon, it can reduce the chances of yo-yo effect. And the second is very convenient. How convenient? You can bring it to anywhere, anytime, you can just enjoy. So how many of us will put a durian or put an apple inside your shirt? So it's impossible, right? So it's very convenient. So anytime and anywhere, you can take our Applephenon jelly. And the third one is, of course, effective. The effectiveness is already backed up by a lot of researchers. So now the thing is, how we choose the best quality of Applephenon. So actually, Applephenon is the extract from the green apple. So it's almost 250 times concentrated than the regular green apples. And we also found that the green apple has 10 times polyphenol than the red apples. And now the things, we know the Applephenon is made by green apple. Do you know how Atomy choose the best green apple? The answer is diameter 3 to 4 cm, and every apple is average weight is 4 grams. Do you know how small is 3 to 4 cm? So can you show me your hand? Okay. Okay, when you look at okay, so this is the size of the apple, the green apple that Atomy choose. Why we choose this okay green apple? Because we found that this size contains the highest and best content of the polyphenol. So each 2 sachets of the Applephenon jelly contain 372 mg of polyphenol. So now the answer is, every people, when we introduce the noni, when we introduce the Applephenon, they always ask, oh, since it's easy like that, why not I just buy the noni and make my homemade noni, I make my homemade Applephenon. Do you think it's possible? So the answer is impossible. So that's the 3 reasons why we say impossible. The first thing, how you can find the 3 to 4 cm green apple in the market? Normally the green apple is like 8 cm or even 10 cm. So it's impossible for you to find the small green apple in the market. The second, can we consume up to 45 pieces of green apple? If the answer is no, you just consume 2 jelly sticks enough. And third, most of the Applephenon is not only found in the fresh, the apple fresh. Normally we eat the green apple, we just eat 苹果肉，对吗? We will eat the seed, we will eat the skin? No. So that's the reason the most convenient way is what? Just consume Applephenon jelly stick. So please give a big round of applause to our Applephenon jelly stick. And if you try the Applephenon jelly stick, the first thing that comes to the mind, why the jelly stick got a little bit of bitterness? Because it's formed by not only the flesh, also the seed and also the skin. So in order to achieve a best sensory test, so we give you the jelly, we want you to enjoy the jelly. So our researchers added the formulation with the crystalline fructose, stevia, and natural apple juice concentrate to give the most acceptable flavor to all the age. So all the age can easily accept this flavor. So this is the reason a lot of people asking, can diabetes consume the Applephenon? The answer is yes. So besides our Applephenon, we didn't add on the preservative and artificial flavoring. We are using the natural apple flavor. So you can enjoy this natural taste, and in the same time, you can feel the effectiveness and result from our Applephenon. So just now, we already explained you cannot make your DIY Applephenon by yourself. So beside that, I think most of us still wondering how Applephenon scientifically proven to work effectively to our body fat. So that's the 4 actions you can look at the screen. So the first action, after we consume the Applephenon jelly stick, so it can stop or prevent your body to absorb the fat from your food. So it can reduce the chances for your body to intake too much of body fat. The second action, it can help you to stop the process of the body fat accumulation. So that's another way. If the body fat is already inside your body, it can help you to break down. After breakdown, it can buang daripada body kita. So that's why it can help you break down. The third action, it can help you to regulate the secretion of the adiponectin. So it's one of the diabetes, obesity hormone. So the last action, it can combining all the above action, it can slowly reduce our, what we call that, the abdominal fat, even the visceral fat, the organ fat. So, beside all this theory, actually we done a lot of research and clinical study. So, we're using the 12 weeks to do the research, and we found that after the 12 weeks of consuming the Applephenon, the researcher found that it can reduce the hip and circumference body fat, the BMI can reduce, and as well as our abdominal fat area. So not only that, so a lot of people will ask, after 12 weeks I eat the Applephenon, if I stop, will it become back the fat? Just as we already mentioned, so we already proved there's no yo-yo effect. Our research showed that after 12 weeks, when we stop eating the Applephenon, it can continuously 4 weeks to reduce the body fat. So please give a big round of applause to our Applephenon. And another thing, I think many people will still doubt on this. After they eat 1 or 2 Applephenon, always they will stand on the weighing scale. Why my body weight is not reduced? How many of you is trying, is always weight your body weight every time you eat the Applephenon? Okay, here I would like to highlight one thing. Our protein and muscle is very heavy, but our body fat, it's just like the oil. It's very light. So that's why you cannot just, every time you eat the Applephenon, you just go on the body weight scale machine to check your body weight. So by just looking at these 3 people, so all of them having the same body height and body weight and also the BMI. And the only difference is they have a different body fat percentage and muscle mass. So a healthy person, they tend to have a low body fat and high muscle mass. So by looking at this, do you want to become the left one, middle one, or the right one? Which one you want? So if you want to become the middle one, just try to take the Applephenon for 6 months. If you want to achieve even the good result, if you want to have a middle result, you can take up to 3 months. But if you want to have a better result like the right side one, you need to take up to 6 months. Because a standard lean body person with healthy BMI tends to have a 25 billion of body fat cells. Okay, by looking at here, our body fat cells in our body have a lot. A standard body weight, we only have a 25 billion. For the obesity or overweight, their body have above 150 billion of fat cells. So just imagine, every time we eat the Applephenon, it can help us to digest and burn all this body fat cell. A lot of people just expecting, after I eat 1 box, 2 box, I can burn all the 100 billion. Do you think it's possible? That's why it's impossible. That's why when we take the Applephenon, we need to give the faith, like our company motto. We need to have a faith. We need to continuously take, especially for those who don't eat the fruits. You can just make the Applephenon as your fruit. So by the time after 3 months, 6 months, if you go to the machine, then you can find that actually your body fat is reduced. So now the main point is we want to reduce the body fat. So after all this theory, and I have mentioned earlier, I think a lot of people still, they're wondering, why I eat the 2 balls, 4 balls of Applephenon, I still don't see the result. Actually, I am one of the testimonial. Do you still remember when Atomy launched our Atomy Applephenon? I remember this day because I looking back the history. Okay, actually we launched our Atomy Applephenon on last year, 7th of July. And I started eating the Applephenon, and now the next I want to show my own result. Okay, before I show my own result, I want to tell you some short story. I think a lot of you experienced the MCO time, the COVID time, right? So before the COVID and MCO time, I'm always proud of myself. I have a very super ideal weight at 74 kg. No matter I eat what kind of the dessert, I eat a lot, I eat the nasi lemak with nasi lebeh, kuah jumbo, kuah banjeh, my body weight is always 74 kg. But during the MCO time, I have another achievement. I become a good chef. I always cook my own food. And every food that I cook is very delicious one. I need to have more nasi lebeh. So after the 1 year and 2 years, we start at the home during the MCO time. I start to worry because my body weight suddenly go up to more than 80 kg, 82 kg. Initially, I thought after MCO, I go back to the gym, I do the exercise. I thought this 82 kg can reduce. But after 1 year, I have a regular exercise. I nasi Quran, but my weight is still 81, 80, 81, 80. It's never reduced less than 80 kg. I start to worry. But on same time, give a big round of applause to Atomy. And we launched the Atomy Applephenon, and now you can see my result. So this result is happened in 2023, last year. So in June, you see my body weight is almost maintained. This is the reason why I say, after we eat the Applephenon, don't just look at your body weight. And you can see after I do the gym, I with a normal diet, everything, my muscle mass is still maintained. But what is the difference? The difference, you can see the fat mass is like the roller coaster. It's going down. So this is the effect of Applephenon. And I'm very confident to say this product is really efficient. And another thing, you see, my weight is reduced 4 kg. Almost 82% is from this 4 kg is just a fat. So after you see my result, do you want to give a try? Yeah, please give you a big round of applause to yourself. So in conclusion, I want to highlight 3 key points if you want to reduce your weight. The first thing, practice, because the government spent 3 billion. I want to help the government to promote this. Always remember, suku, suku, separuh. Can you read together with me? Suku, suku, separuh. Yeah. And the second thing, must remember to have the exercise. And the third thing, of course, remember eat the Applephenon. I'm sure you will get the same result that I have achieved. And now, talk about this product. We always say Atomy have an absolute quality and absolute price. So each box in one box of the Applephenon, we have a 28 jelly stick, so it can last long for 2 weeks. So it is sold at 105 ringgit with 13,000 PV. So in every day, we recommend you to consume before the meal. So especially you choose your heaviest meal of the day, which is before lunch and before dinner. And every day, it just costs how much? If we eat 2 jelly sticks, it's only 7 ringgit 50 cents. So it's equal to 45 pieces of green apples. So I think impossible for us to find the 2 apples that only cost 30 cents. So, and thanks everyone. So I wish you all have a light body fat and slimmer body. So this is the end of my presentation. Thank you everyone.